Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. On June 23, 2016, the United Kingdom did something unprecedented. In a national referendum, 51.9% of voters chose to leave the European Union, against 48.1% who voted to remain. For the first time, a major member state decided to walk away from the world's largest trading bloc. This was Brexit, a political earthquake that sent shockwaves across Britain and Europe, and its aftershocks are still being felt today. But how did it happen? And what has it really meant for everyone involved? Let's be clear, Brexit wasn't about one single issue. It was the culmination of decades of simmering tensions, political, economic, and cultural. The most powerful slogan of the campaign was "Take Back Control." For many voters, this was about sovereignty. They felt that too many decisions were being made in Brussels, with EU laws overriding British laws. They wanted independent control over their borders, their trade policy, and their own legal system. This feeling was deeply tied to immigration. Free movement within the EU had led to a significant increase in migration to the UK. While many economists pointed to the benefits, others felt pressure on public services like housing and healthcare, and some perceived a downward pressure on wages. Immigration became a powerful symbol of a loss of national control. Politically, this concern was far more potent than any economic argument. But this wasn't just about sovereignty or immigration. It was also a story of economic inequality. For years, globalization had supercharged London and the Southeast, while many former industrial heartlands felt left behind, their industries gone, their communities struggling. For these regions, Brexit became a protest vote, a powerful way to reject the political and economic establishment that they felt had forgotten them. And finally, we can't ignore the element of political miscalculation. Prime Minister David Cameron called the referendum not because he believed Britain should leave, but to try and settle long-running divisions within his own Conservative Party and neutralize the threat from Eurosceptic voices. He gambled that the country would vote to remain, and he lost. Brexit wasn't inevitable. It was enabled by a high-stakes political gamble that backfired spectacularly. The immediate consequences were seismic. David Cameron resigned the morning after the vote, triggering a period of intense political chaos. The UK plunged in 2 years of parliamentary deadlock over how or even if to leave the EU. Populist politics surged, and the nation became deeply polarized, with families and friendships fractured by the leave versus remain divide. The economy reacted instantly. The value of the pound sterling plummeted, business investment stalled, and a cloud of uncertainty hung over everything. This uncertainty became Britain's biggest economic enemy long before any new policies were actually in place. After years of political wrangling, Brexit finally became a reality. The UK officially left the European Union on January 31, 2020, and the transition period ended that December. This wasn't just a symbolic change. The UK left the EU's single market and customs union, two pillars of frictionless commerce. In their place came a whole new set of trade barriers, customs checks, new regulations, and long delays at the border. The era of seamless trade was over, replaced by permanent friction. For UK businesses, the impact was immediate. Exporting to their largest market suddenly became more expensive and complicated. The UK's world-leading services sector, especially finance, lost its automatic access to the EU market. Supply chains, finely tuned over decades, were disrupted, and crucial sectors like agriculture, hospitality, and healthcare faced severe labor shortages as the pool of EU workers dried up. Small businesses were hit the hardest. They lacked the resources to navigate the new bureaucracy and compliance costs. Many found it was no longer profitable to sell to Europe and simply stopped. What about the European Union? The departure of a major military, diplomatic, and economic power was a significant blow. However, the economic disruption to the bloc was relatively limited. In a strange twist, the messy and difficult process of Brexit actually strengthened the EU's internal unity. It served as a stark warning to any other country considering an exit. The spectacle of Britain's struggles made leaving look far less attractive, effectively discouraging other exits and shifting the EU's internal balance of power more towards Germany and France. So, who were the winners and losers? On the benefit side, the UK did gain regulatory autonomy in some areas. Certain domestic industries received more protection from EU competition, and of course, the politicians who had campaigned for Brexit for decades achieved their ultimate goal. But the list of losers is much longer. UK exporters, the financial services sector, and regions heavily dependent on EU trade all suffered. Young people who overwhelmingly voted to remain lost the right to live and work freely across 27 countries. And arguably, the UK's global influence diminished. The economic costs have been far broader and deeper than the gains. Nowhere was the issue more complex than in Northern Ireland. The central challenge was how to leave the EU's single market without creating a hard border on the island of Ireland, which could have jeopardized the Good Friday Peace Agreement. The solution, known as the Northern Ireland Protocol, was to keep Northern Ireland aligned with many EU rules for goods. This avoided a hard land border but effectively created a new customs border in the Irish Sea between Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK. In a profound way, Brexit reconfigured the very internal sovereignty of the United Kingdom. Looking at the long-term economic effects, it's not a story of a sudden crash, but of a slow drag. On growth, most economists agree that Brexit has led to lower long-term GDP growth, reduced foreign investment, and permanent trade friction. The UK economy has become less open and dynamic than it would have been. Brexit didn't cause an immediate crisis, but it has steadily weakened the foundations of the UK's economic growth. The political and global significance is huge. For the UK, it triggered an identity crisis. Is it a European nation or a global Britain forging its own path? It reignited the debate over Scottish independence, as Scotland had voted overwhelmingly to remain in the EU. For the world, Brexit was a landmark moment. It demonstrated the powerful backlash against globalization, validated populist movements, and showed in real time just how high the costs of exiting a deeply integrated economic bloc can be. So, what are the key lessons from this entire saga? First, economic integration is always political. Trade deals aren't just about goods and services. They're about identity, values, and shared governance. Second, referendums are a blunt instrument. They force a simple yes or no answer on incredibly complex issues, struggling to capture any nuance. Third, sovereignty comes with trade-offs. Gaining more control often means losing market access and economic influence. And finally, uncertainty itself is profoundly damaging to an economy, even before a single rule changes. In the end, Brexit did not make the UK poorer overnight. Instead, it has made the country less predictable, less connected to its closest partners, and arguably less influential over time. It was never just a rejection of the European Union. It was a reflection of deep domestic divisions over globalization, identity, and who holds power. The final chapter of the Brexit story is still being written, but its structural consequences for Britain and for Europe are already locked in. Thank you for watching. If you found this explanation helpful, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more deep dives into the events that shape our world.